Every election, every political debate, and every television discussion eventually comes down to one question: who is the stronger leader? But the Constitution asks a completely different question: how strong are the institutions that limit, balance, and hold that leader accountable? That is the difference between a constitutional democracy and a personality cult. Leaders are temporary. Institutions are supposed to be permanent. Prime ministers change, governments change, political parties rise and fall. But Parliament, the Supreme Court, the Election Commission, the Comptroller and Auditor General, constitutional commissions, and an impartial civil service are meant to survive every political transition. The framers of our Constitution knew something history has repeatedly proved. No leader, however popular, is infallible. Power, if left unchecked, has a tendency to expand. That is why the Constitution separates power among the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. It creates checks and balances so that no institution, and certainly no individual, becomes supreme over the Constitution itself. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar warned that however good a constitution may be, it can turn out to be bad if those entrusted with implementing it are not committed to constitutional values. The lesson is equally important in reverse. Even capable leaders should function within strong institutions, because institutions protect the republic from the mistakes, excesses, or ambitions of individuals. This brings us to a difficult but necessary constitutional conversation. Over the past decade, many former judges, constitutional scholars, journalists, civil society organizations, and opposition leaders have expressed concern that some democratic institutions in India have become less independent, while public discourse has increasingly revolved around individual leadership and political personality. At the same time, supporters of the present government argue that stronger executive leadership has improved efficiency, reduced policy paralysis, and strengthened governance. These competing views are part of India's democratic debate. Regardless of political preference, one constitutional principle remains constant. A democracy cannot depend solely on the character or popularity of a leader. It depends on institutions that are independent enough to question, examine, and, when necessary, restrain those in power. History teaches us that democracies rarely decline overnight. They weaken gradually. First, institutions lose public confidence. Then, independent voices become less influential. Checks and balances are viewed as obstacles rather than safeguards. Finally, loyalty to individuals begins to outweigh loyalty to constitutional principles. That is the environment in which demagoguery can flourish. A constitutional democracy asks citizens to trust institutions more than personalities, because institutions are designed to serve every generation, not just one government. The real test of a democracy is not whether it can produce a powerful leader. The real test is whether its